What's up, everyone? Welcome back to House is Fake. It's me, TJ, joined by my brother in green, Miggy.
We're feeling the. I don't even know what color this is. Baby food green.
Like a mashed green pea,
Yeah,
a pine green.
pine green. I like that.
Dude, speaking of pine, Christmas is right around the corner.
Christmas in July.
Oh man. Dude, I'm excited.
It's actually, get this. It's National Tree Day.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear. It's together with Chicken Finger Day and Scotch Day. But I'm probably. I don't think I'll
Scotch
have
day.
any. Yeah, I don't know if I'll have any chicken fingers today, and definitely not drinking scotch because I am not a man.
No, no. But you know who was a man? Was
He was a real merry man.
yeah,
That
the
was bad.
Hulkster.
That was bad.
That's all right. Dude, you haven't I posted a quick little reaction, kind of my thoughts the day that it happened, but we haven't talked about Hulk Hogan's passing or anything related to Hulk Hogan
Yeah,
since he passed. So
I know. Yeah, you gave your thoughts. I gave it some breaking news when it
what are
happened.
your thoughts now that you've had a couple days to digest?
So
There's a lot to digest.
take the
Couple of
politics.
flushes.
I had to do a lot when it came to taking the politics out of everything, taking what I know about Hulk Hogan or what I've heard about Hulk Hogan out of it, and really just focus on his contributions to professional wrestling and the sport that I love. I mean, I I named my dog after him. Like I have a love for Hulk Hogan in that sense that I named my dog after him. I didn't tell you the story. My wife told you the story when Hulk Hogan died, and I got the notification to my phone, and I shout, "Oh my God, Hogan's dead!" And she comes running, thinking the dog died. Thankfully, well, I mean, I'm glad the dog's okay, but
The dog's
yeah,
just
so
like,
that's how she found out about Hulk Hogan. But yeah, I mean, Hulk Hogan, and I'll never forget the first time that I saw Hulk Hogan was at that TNA Bound for Glory show that was out here that I talk about all the time in 2010. And that was one of the coolest experiences. I still have the photo posted to my Facebook page from sitting up and whatever, as high up as you could be in the GCU arena I think that's Glendale. I don't know. It's in the ghetto. It's what we call the ghetto out here in the valley. Um,
that's
like
funny.
they have
Ain't
barbed
ain't
wire.
no San Bernardino. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, they have barbed wire fences surrounding the school, and then outside of the school is outside of the school actually is supposed to be one of the best Chinese food restaurants in Arizona, but I've never been there. It's just called like Great Chinese Food, and the place is always packed, so you know it's
Just
good.
a kid in the back doing homework.
Yeah,
The
but
the menu's all faded. You can't even read it.
but Hulk Hogan is a big part of my life growing up in general. I mean, I have an Italian stallion Rocky tattoo on my arm, and Hulk Hogan starring in Rocky 3 as Thunderlips. I always thought that's probably why I got into Rocky so much, was that introduction from Rocky 3, knowing who Hulk Hogan was and being like, oh my God, Hulk Hogan's in this.
Is the
Um,
third Rocky your favorite Rocky?
no, the fourth Rocky is my favorite Rocky, but the third
Part
Rocky
two,
is up
dude.
there. Um, and then just as good, like I really so I was a WWE guy, WWF guy. You were the WCW guy, and growing into wrestling, I knew Hulk Hogan, and they would talk about him, and I knew his contributions, but I didn't really watch WCW as much. So when I would see Hulk Hogan, it was in the Rockies. It was my parents letting me watch Mr. Nanny um as a kid, and I did a video for what's it called, Miggy's Mindset, talking about movies people don't talk about enough. In 1998's were you a Three Ninjas guy? I know I'm a little bit older than you, so
No, I wasn't.
okay. So the Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain, where Hulk Hogan plays Dave Dragon, who is like this actor, but he's like a superhero to these kids, and they all want to be like him, and he helps the Three Ninjas, Tuck, Tom Tom, and I don't know, Mike maybe, and no, what is it? Please hold. But anyway, he helps them defeat the terrorists that are taking over Magic Mountain, or is it Magic Mountain? It's
Wait, so terrorists take
Mega
over
Mountain.
so terrorists take over a theme park and Hulk Hogan saves the day?
Hulk Hogan helps them save the day. Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum. That's it.
Wow.
Um, yeah,
How
and
is
Hulk
that
Hogan,
movie not a smash hit?
dude, I don't know, and it's the third Three Ninjas. Um, but then also, I'm a horror guy, right? I love a good horror movie. So Gremlins 2, he plays himself in that, rips the shirt off the whole 9 yards, and then literally I almost got a Muppet tattooed on me at one point because I'm such a Muppets fan, and Hulk Hogan plays himself in the Muppets from Space. So I was just a big Hulk Hogan fan growing up, even just for his movie roles, and that's we're not even getting to the contributions that he's made to professional wrestling.
I can honestly say, besides Rocky 3, I've never seen a movie that Hulk Hogan's been in.
Dude,
And I didn't watch Rocky 3 for Hulk Hogan. I watched Rocky 3 because I watched Rockies 1 and 2.
I will say that of all of those movies, Gremlins 2 is probably, well, I mean, take Rocky out of it. It probably, if I had to rank them in my favorite Hulk Hogan roles, it would be Thunderlips, himself in Gremlins 2, Dave Dragon, and then the lawnmower from Romeo and Juliet. And that when we would show Romeo and Juliet when I was a teacher, that was always my fun fact that Hulk Hogan was the lawnmower guy.
You just pause it and tell everyone, and they're like,
Yeah,
"Who's Hulk Hogan?"
yeah. Um, I used to ask them, like I extra credit for whoever could tell me who plays the lawnmower. Which also, what's crazy? You know who else is in that movie? In a small role too, just like Hulk Hogan?
Who?
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ha 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 ha.
He plays the deer that is in love with Spider-Man 2.
Dude, yeah, it was a big week. Big week in the world of famous people dying.
Yeah.
Dude, but let's talk about some of his wrestling, bro. What is your we don't need to get
Oh,
into
he
like
was
his
he was in
origin
Suburban
story.
Commando too.
Oh, how could you forget?
Yeah.
What what without getting into like every single like all the shit we already know about Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. What was your favorite version of Hulk Hogan? Like as a fan?
Oh.
Which might be hard because you said you didn't watch WCW and so you were getting all the NWO stuff kind of after it happened, right?
Yeah, so you go first, and then let me ponder on it for a second.
I would say my heart tells me Hollywood Hogan because he just had this like cool factor about him and like he was just the perfect bad guy. But nowadays, I think I can appreciate more his WWF like Hulkamania, like the start of that, because he was so over and everyone loved and believed in him so much. And but the wrestling quality itself was pretty like clunky, if I'm being honest. Like Hulk Hogan was no Bret Hart, you know what I mean? So
He wasn't a good wrestler,
in
but
the
he was a
same way
great
that
character.
yes, in the same way that people today chant how Cena can't wrestle, it's the same concept. Um, but Hogan, so knowing that, like establishing that, I'm more impressed with his run back in the day because I don't think anyone can get that over today, like in today's age, without like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying, and
Like
I
no
don't
one
think
can go up there and win with a leg drop and Hulk up and
he was
get
the
a
first
pop unless
larger
they're
than life superstar that everyone can get behind.
yes. And it was a really like they tapped into the culture a lot with the whole like America thing,
Yeah,
height of the Cold War, all that kind of stuff. So I'm
height of the
more
Cold War. I
impressed
like that.
with
Yeah.
I'm more impressed with Hulkamania, but yeah, NWO Hogan does have a special place in my heart. I gotta be honest.
Um. Well, I mean, it arguably the greatest heel turn of all time and the most unexpected, and the changed the landscape for WCW and really WWF at the time. Oof. Is it my turn now?
Yeah. Watch, you're gonna say something like the Impact Hulk or some bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. 2010, July 4th or January 4th, Hulk Hogan when he took over Impact. No. So I would like to think, yeah, when he tag teamed with Edge, that was my favorite. But no.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot they were champs together.
They were champs together. I guess if I had to choose a favorite version of Hulk Hogan, and don't and you have to really think about this one. It's retired Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
And not because like I like well, I guess he still wasn't retired then. I don't know. So I don't know. Well, you know what? You're gonna okay. So Hulk Hogan from 2002 to 2012. That's my favorite Hogan's years, even including the Impact stuff.
The Legend Hogan.
The Legend Hogan, because and primarily, I'll never forget as a kid WrestleMania 20. Muhammad Hassan is beating up Eugene and going off on Eugene saying he's going not beating him up yet, but going off on Eugene saying all these things to Eugene. And a beatdown is about to come. Then you just hear the Hulkster's music and he comes right out and easily my top five greatest returns of all time.
Was
Was
that
not
WrestleMania
expecting
20 or 21?
it makes more sense for it to be 21, doesn't it? But because 21
Because I
was Hollywood,
remember
wasn't it?
21 was Hollywood, and I remember the visual of him hitting the pose and the flag dropped right behind him. Totally
WrestleMania
badass.
21.
That's when everyone
WrestleMania
listened to
21.
Toby Keith and fucking drank Coors Light. And
Yeah, that's when Toby Keith's bar was still open out here. Um,
I went to one in Vegas at Harrah's.
did you?
I don't know if it's still there, but it was a long time ago. But
They
yeah,
closed all the ones I hear. And then like when he died, his family like fought over the money or something like that. Anyway, I remember jumping on the couch, screaming in excitement. Uh, my parents weren't even there. Like it was like a WrestleMania that my parents were like out of town, and my dad was pissed that he couldn't watch it because he had to go. I think it was like his sister's wedding or something. And I just remember jumping on the couch, screaming and yelling at the TV how excited I was to see Hulk Hogan, and that is my favorite Hulk Hogan moment, I think.
hell yeah.
Um, which makes it, I don't know, makes it my favorite version of Hulk Hogan. The surprise return of Hogan. I think he's
Well,
up there.
and
A Hogan surprise return, I think, is up there with a good Undertaker and Kane surprise return.
it was up there, dude. And I
Yeah,
think because you mentioned, I think it was in this era when I think it was like a Raw anniversary show or Legends Night or something, but there was a bunch of old wrestlers in the ring and Brock Lesnar came out. Maybe
Hogan's
wasn't it?
birthday.
Yes, it was. I was like, no, maybe it was something like Hulk Hogan themed, and it was. So it's Hulk Hogan's birthday, and Lesnar comes out, and he's still with Heyman, and this is the height of Lesnar like never being around, and the fans being pissed, not because they hate the character, but they hate the lack of seeing him.
Yeah.
And he goes up to Hogan, he says, "Party's over, Grandpa," and you just even hearing it now, it's still like it guts me a little bit because like we know we knew at the time he was old, but I think he didn't some come out where like he wasn't very appreciative of that comment or
Yeah, yeah,
something
he
like
was
that.
pissed. He doesn't like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, so it was but you know, it's badass of Lesnar. I gotta be
Yeah.
honest.
And they wrestled,
Like
right? Hogan and Lesnar, they wrestled in Lesnar's first run.
I think they did on like a SmackDown or I don't think it was
And
any
and
big
Brock
pay-per-view.
Lesnar and yeah, and Brock Lesnar won. They wrestled a couple times and Brock Lesnar won. Um but then and I don't know, maybe that's why he doesn't like him. What was I gonna tell you though? Oh, but even, like a good Hogan return in general, like you look at setting up the Survivor Series, was it Survivor Series when he fought Shawn Michaels
I think that was a SummerSlam, I
or
think.
SummerSlam? Either way, when that was to I know they brought Hulk Hogan out as like the third man with Shawn Michaels, Triple A, or Shawn Michaels, John Cena, and Hulk Hogan in a 6-on-6 tag team match, and Hogan was the surprise tag team guy.
So they ran
Um,
back the third man thing again.
yeah, but I don't know. Hogan's. I still think that Hulk Hogan and Edge is one of like it's like I'm glad that Edge had that opportunity, but it's one of the weirdest tag teams ever.
Well, that's what Vince did. His tag teams were not like it wasn't like FTR and, the Young Bucks where it's like, "Hey,
Yeah,
we're here to be a tag team." The tag team was kind of it was almost just where mid-card guys and occasionally main event guys could further advance storylines with themselves. Usually these guys became tag teams out of like some sort of weird stipulation or like necessity for whatever reason, and then they would eventually break up.
but
Um,
Hogan had some weird tag team partners in general throughout. Like, and I was just double checking to make sure I was right. You look at. I mean, he had a tag team run with um Tugboat. I mean, what WrestleMania 3? His tag team partner was Mr. T.
that was the first WrestleMania. WrestleMania 3 was with Andre.
You're right. I don't know what I'm
Come
talking about
on,
today.
Mickey.
I don't know what I'm talking about today. You had him with Edge. You had him. I think he was a partner. Well, actually, it kind of makes sense for him to tag with Kurt Angle at one point. They're both American, real American guys. You have him and
Got to take out the
Abyss.
terrorists.
Him and Abyss were tag teams. I mean, then you had the ones that kind of him and Mean Gene Okerlund were tag team partners at one point for a match.
Is that match on? That's got to be on YouTube. I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
seen Mean Gene in a match before.
And then you have what else? You had the ones that made sense. You had the Macho Mans. You had the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, what's it called? Looking back at it now, it made a lot of sense for Hogan to be the third man if you're trying to take the WWF guys and
Well,
run the show.
that's the famous story, and I think Kevin Nash has talked about it more than anyone. But going into like the event was already underway. There were already matches and shit happening, and they didn't
Hmm.
know if Hogan was going to commit and be the third man because that would have been a heel turn, first time ever. Hogan didn't. It was basically, he just didn't want to. fuck up, and then his whole career was over. He didn't want to roll
Yeah,
the dice.
which makes sense.
And the third man was, according to Kevin Nash, if it wasn't going to be Hogan, it was going to be Sting. And he said it wouldn't have worked. It would have been dead on arrival because Sting was the WCW guy. That was Sting's thing. So invading the WCW for like what, doesn't make sense.
No,
So yeah, thank God he did it. And I remember listening to Busted Open, and because as a kid I was like a year and a half, 2 years old when this was going on. So I like when I my WCW was actually like the shittiest version of WCW, but I was anyways. So on Busted Open they're talking about it, and I forget who, but they said that Bobby Heenan ruined the heel turn for him because when Hogan's walking down the ramp to come to the ring, he's doing the point, he's talking shit, and Heenan goes, "Yeah, but whose side is he on?" Because it was supposed to be a 3-on-3 match, and Hall and Nash came out by themselves. So when Hogan
oh
came
yeah,
out, he was like, "Is he here to help, or is he the third tag team partner?" And then you see too in the crowd when Hogan turns heel, like they start throwing the trash in the ring, but you see a couple of people start cheering. And I think those people that were cheering are probably like the original marks of wrestling because they were probably on the dirt sheets like Hogan's doesn't know if he's going to turn
yeah,
heel or
waiting,
not. They're
waiting for their AOL dial-up to get
they,
to it.
yeah, they're like reading the wrestling magazines, highlighting shit and trying to figure it out. So uh but yeah, so it's cool to listen back to that because it does make sense why if you're watching the pay-per-view, Heenan saying, "But whose side is he on?" just totally takes the moment away. So,
Yeah,
but I mean, it's still considered. I think we even talked about it when Cena turned heel. Next to Cena's heel turn, Hogan's is probably like
I
still the best.
I think Hogan's is the best.
Yeah.
I
I
think
well,
I think we can appreciate John Cena's because we didn't see it coming. But I think looking back at it in the history of professional wrestling, Hogan's heel turn will be the best heel turn.
I think the heel turn, you need to have this is what I assume, just based on like I'm looking at what's happening. You need to have that initial like catalyst, that spark, so you have the shock of Hogan dropping the leg, of Cena kicking Cody and The Rock and all that stuff. But if your follow up isn't good, then the heel turn, then the shock itself almost doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
Like the whole NWO, which people still wear shirts that you can see today,
I
like
mean I wear my NWO tank top every so
every
often.
day.
I was gonna say every day. I
I
do
go to
wear it
sleep
quite
in it.
often. I do wear it quite
It's
often.
it has this like legacy to it, whereas
Yeah,
Cena, like, what are we going what is there like a tangible thing that Cena will do that we can remember from this heel turn? So far, I don't think so.
not from the heel turn, unless he brings back the spinner belt.
Well, I wouldn't even be mad at that.
No, but yeah,
Can
no.
I
I mean
can go ahead.
yeah, with the NWO, I mean that is gonna go down. I mean, Cena has so many shirts, but there's only one NWO real thing, and then you could take. I mean, I took my Hulk Hogan. My Hulk Hogan. I was handed down a shirt that says "I'm a real American," and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna wear that outside, but it has the Hulk Hogan on the back of it, and I'm like, what if I take the NWO symbol and spray paint on the shirt, and now I'll wear that.
Hell yeah. That'd be
And
sick, dude.
I turned it into an NWO shirt, and yeah, I mean the NWO is one of the most recognizable things. I mean, you wear a professional wrestling shirt at some places where you have all the marks and the creeps and everything like that, and there's going to be somebody that comes up to you and gives you a too sweet.
I do it.
Yeah.
If I see you in the
Um,
grocery store and you got a wrestling shirt on, I'm gonna walk up to you and give you a card or do this.
and a hug if it's
Please
me. I'm a,
subscribe.
yeah, I'm a hugger. Um, but I don't think with this John Cena run, I honestly, and I don't even think outside of the spinner belt, I don't think there's a piece of merchandise that goes together with John Cena and this heel turn and anything like. I honestly don't think there's any more recognizable symbol in professional wrestling than the NWO uh, symbols.
Maybe Austin 316.
I don't think it compares.
Maybe Hulkamania. You know, it might even
Oh,
be
you
the
know what? Maybe
Hulkamania logo.
Hulkamania. Yeah, maybe the
Okay,
Hulkamania
so now
logo.
you got Hulk Hogan having the two most famous logos of all time in pro wrestling.
But he is the most famous professional wrestler ever,
Ever.
ever. I mean, to us, there's I would think it goes Hulk Hogan, John Cena, The Rock. Like I'm talking household names, right? If you were to be like, you have Hulk Hogan, John Cena, The Rock, The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin. That is who, and that's I think household names. Almost every person will know who that is. But
Do you
then you get
remember
into there are people I've met people who have no idea who Ric Flair is. I met people who have no idea who Roddy Piper is. I met people who have no idea who Triple H, Vince McMahon, um, Mick Foley, what Shawn Michaels, DX, and he had no idea who any of those people are. Sting,
Yeah.
nothing.
Let me ask you one quick question, and then I want to leave us on sort of a conspiracy theory.
Okay. Well, I have a quick question too, but I'll make mine quick.
Go ahead.
No, you
Ask.
go. You go first, unless it
I don't
leads
know if
into
you
it.
I don't know if you remember when Kobe Bryant died, but there was talk about replacing Jerry West with Kobe as the NBA logo.
Um,
Who would be pro wrestling's logo? Would it be Hulk Hogan? You got to think of like a famous picture that everyone knows where you could like just do the silhouette of it. You wouldn't even see his face, but you would just know by the body that's Hulk
if
Hogan.
it wasn't Hulk Hogan, if it wasn't Hulk Hogan, I would think you either do The Rock or you do Stone Cold on the like this, or you do The Rock with the one arm up. But I think Hulk
Those
Hogan
are
with
good. Yeah.
his whatever this is probably the best one.
All right.
Do you have a favorite Hulk Hogan match? Because I do. That's why.
Honestly, bro, okay, yes. There was one that came to mind, but then I remembered the obvious one. Rock Hogan WrestleMania 18.
Yeah.
That's my top three wrestling matches of all time. So,
Oh, I remember you saying that.
but the one that came to mind immediately, it's not a good quality match, but it's just the hype and the pop and everything. From Monday Night Raw, I forget what the date was, but it was Hogan and Goldberg, and it's when Goldberg won the title.
Oh,
Dude, they were in the Atlanta Dome or the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. That's where the Falcons play. So 40,000 people on a Monday. That's one of the reasons why WCW didn't make any fucking money. They were giving away these big matches to 40,000 people for free when you could have had it, as a pay per view if you just cooked a little. That's why I get so pissed off when Tony Khan just books
I know.
matches,
I was
you
gonna
know.
say AEW.
So,
AEW pulls right from that.
which they're doing better, and we've acknowledged that. So I'm not
Oh
going down
yeah,
that rabbit
best
hole.
best wrestling show on TV.
Yeah. But
Um,
so yeah, that
that's a
match
good
too.
choice.
I forget the date of it. I think the year is 98. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it. You'll find it. What about yours?
Um, so also not a good quality match, but the story was good, and I loved where it ended up with the return of Roddy Piper, Hogan and Vince at WrestleMania, the street fight covered in blood, pure craziness. I remember just 2003. I remember just going crazy, thinking this is one of the bloodiest. At that point, it was probably one of the bloodiest matches I had ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, and
So when did you start watching ECW later? Like, did you watch
later,
old ECW when
not
they
until
brought the new
I
one
didn't.
back?
Yeah, I didn't watch. I didn't start watching old ECW until the WWE Network. But I mean, I've seen clips of it and things like that, but I didn't like, wasn't able to like, I didn't have any DVDs or nothing. There
It
was
was
no,
the primitive YouTube years.
yeah. So
Ugh,
but
those
I mean, I
VJs.
ECW One Night Stand, the first one is one of the top 10 pay-per-views of all time.
Well, you
All
ready
right,
for
let's
my
hear your
conspiracy?
conspiracy theory.
Now, this is not mine. This was a TikTok that my wife sent me. And so, whoever this dude is that came up with it, all credit goes to him.
Friend of the podcast, dude.
Friend of the podcast, this random TikToker. I got to lean back for this. My back's starting to hurt. I'm just going to relax and kind of zen this one out. All right. John Cena is going to ruin wrestling by leaving and going home with the WWE Championship. He's going to be the last real champion because the WWE is no longer going to exist. The WWE, along with AAA, maybe even Impact, will become one gigantic wrestling company called TKO.
It makes sense. And I hate that. It makes
The company
sense.
just got bought out. All the sponsorship deals. We were talking about how WrestleMania is no different than all the other big pay-per-views. They got the UFC and the bull riding.
If that happens, I hope AEW blows them out of the water.
I was gonna say, dude, that would be.
I will stop watching. No, I won't. But I want but I want to say that I want
And
it.
and he even brought so when he showed footage in
Oh,
his little
it
TikTok
makes
of
so much sense.
he put when they were at the stock market when the merger happened or whatever it was called, the buyout. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're all ringing the bell. There's a green championship belt that says TKO on it. Now they make belts for everyone. We saw them at the WWE World, which by the way, I don't know if you still agree with me. Way the fuck overpriced.
Yeah,
And
waste of money.
you know. Well,
But
you
I
went for
might,
like
you know what?
4 days.
I might go to I'm trying to go to Fanatics Fest in San Diego, which is the same, Fanatics runs the WWE World, and I was thinking about it, and it's like, is it really worth that money? Because if WWE World sucked that bad, but then this week I'm going to the big convention, the big sports convention in Chicago
No.
on Thursday, and they're supposed to have some wrestling presence there. I'll have my How Is This Fake stuff on each day. But they, I'm curious if they could put on a better convention than WWE World, because WWE World was a waste of money, but they did have all those championship belts there, and that was kind of a cool thing to look at least.
So, but yeah, so I don't know this, when companies go through like big billion-dollar companies like this, it's not uncommon for a total rebrand to happen. And they already got the Netflix deal. They already got, all this money from the was it like $9 billion the company's
Yeah,
valued at. So I think, but wrestling fans are different than other kinds of fans, and so I don't know.
let's boycott. Let's storm Area 51 and or Area Stanford, Connecticut.
TKO,
Yeah, it sucks.
TKO Raw,
Yeah.
TKO SmackDown. I will watch. If the rebrand happens, if this conspiracy comes through, I will watch if they bring back the fist on SmackDown.
The TKO fist.
You can paint the fist green.
I
You
want the
make it a big
TKO.
Hulk hand.
I want the TKO fist raw. Or I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if we should. Anyway, uh,
I want to get raw fisted on SmackDown.
All right. Well, speaking of which, this was our Hulk Hogan tribute.
Oh
We
God.
gotta stay tuned this week. Your boys have a lot we have to talk about. Um, Follow us everywhere.
Yeah. Subscribe to the podcast, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, HITFPOD. Watch for footage because I'm ring announcing tonight.
Yep,
So
I'm excited
I
for you,
bought a
buddy.
nice clip-on tie. I think I'm gonna get in the ring. We'll see.
If you
But
see Enoch
yeah.
the Enlightened, ask him if he wants me to review that movie he just posted.
All right,
Yeah,
buddy. Take it easy.
you too.